Welcome back, guys. This is Marian. Let's continue with the third part of the compliance and apologize for the delay in coming back with the continuation. And if you haven't already viewed the first and the second part, please do view it. It's on the description. And so we covered the basics as to what all we have in the compliance center, and then we went on to the alerts, permissions, classification, data loss prevention, etc. And now today we're going to see the records management, and under records management we've got file plan and the events. Okay, so let's actually look at what the file plan is under records management. Okay, so a file plan, why should you file a plan in the first place? So when you run an organization, you need to have a plan, right? Like how you can organize your files and how the users can label them and protect them, or actually let the admin or the organization know which one is important and which one isn't. And certain other things like export existing labels to review, audit, or update them. You can leverage an Excel template to help collaborate with stakeholders on your retention label strategy. Keep your file plan organized by using descriptors like department and category. You can categorize, import your organization's file plan in just a few clicks. View, sort, filter your file plan by its settings like retention duration and disposition type. Let's jump back to this screen. So like all the other features, file plan, the records management also has a dashboard. Okay, so when you click on this, you get the file plan and what this is used for, inactive labels and policies. Okay, and since this is a test account, there isn't much labels classified. Okay, so you've got labels and policies. uh, so an admin can create a label, publish it, and import and export labels as well. Okay, and so when you go to create a label, so when you would like to create a policy, you actually create a label and you put it into a policy, and then you publish it. So that's the way. Okay, and I'm going to click on creating. Created a lot of labels, so I'm gonna give it a name, gonna give it a description so that the admin understands what this is for. Okay, so that's a description for the users and one for the administrator. Okay, and you can give whatever you want to. Okay, so when the user looks at this label, so he or she looks at it, and they will understand what this label is for. Okay, this description will appear to users when they hover over the label in SharePoint, OneDrive, etc. And this is for the admin. This description will appear only to admins who manage this label in the compliance center. So what if multiple admins are there? So they should know what this is. And so based on the conditions you set below, will automatically apply this label to content. Users will see the label applied to their content that matches your specified condition. Bingo. So you give a reference ID. Okay, and giving it a test ID, human resource. So you put in a description that this is for the HR department, and category, policies and procedures. You want to go for a subcategory? If yes, then go for it. Authority type, so it's going to be business. Okay, and provision citation, so many acts are there, right? So we'll go with this one. Okay, so the first step is over. You're naming your label, and second step is file plan descriptors. Okay, second step is done. you're gonna go next, and then so label settings. So turn this on if you want to apply retention settings to this label. When the label is applied to content, the content is retained or deleted based on the settings you choose. So if you leave it like this, you can finish it. But if you want to retain it, you can toggle this and switch it on. When this label is applied to content, retain the content for this long, 7 years or whatever it is, right? 100 years. So I'm not sure whether it's gonna allow you for 100 years. Okay, so that's gonna be forever, right? So delete this content. What do you want to do after this time? Delete the content, trigger disposition review, nothing, leave the content as is. So after this time, we'll delete the content from where it currently lives and also from the source location where we keep copies if users modify or delete it during the retention period. Okay, so how can I recover deleted items? So it will go on to the next one. So you can take a look at it. Trigger a disposition. A disposition review is where an admin reviews the items that have reached the end of the retention period to decide whether or not they can be safely deleted. So you go into a decision mode, and this is self-explanatory. Content will be left in place. You will have to manually delete it if you want it gone. All right, so I'm gonna go for trigger a disposition and supervision mail enabled. Okay, so I thought this did not work, but anyway, supervision mail enabled security group, if I'm not wrong. So that's there. Okay, so I'm gonna go for this, and I'm gonna go with the admin as well. Okay, so after 100 years, if these administrators are alive or whoever has taken control of this mailbox, they would get a mail triggered after 100 years, and they would get a disposition review, so they can review with the committee or the organization as to whether this content with the label, whatever content which has been labeled as test 22 can be deleted or not. Okay, so that's simple. And gonna go with this, and after which retain or delete the content based on when it was created. Okay, when it was last modified, when it was labeled an event. Okay, so we'll do when it was created. Okay, these are very self-explanatory. You can slowly take a look at it. Okay, you'll understand. Classify content as a record with this label. No, don't classify as a record. So what is the difference? If content is classified as a record, users won't be able to edit or delete the content or change or remove the label. However, they'll still be able to edit content's metadata. Metadata is like what is the content about, okay, but not the underlying thing. So no, don't classify as a record. I don't care about this, so I'm gonna go with that. And let's click on next. So review your settings. Test label 22, description for users, description for admin. Okay, and file plan descriptors is the second step, right? Give it a reference ID, and department, category, authority, retention 100 years, preserve, review and delete. Okay, so that's the disposition review. Preserve, review and delete based on when it was created. Reviewers are these two, and I'm gonna go with create this label, and the label will be created eventually. Okay, so once you create the label, you can publish it. Okay, and click on publish a label, choose label to publish. Not sure that's gonna take a little while. Okay, there it is. Add. So you're gonna choose the label to publish, and you're gonna go next. All locations including exchange, or let me choose specific location. So if you happen to only choose exchange email or only leave exchange email and choose the others, you can toggle this and switch it off and click next, and not exchange, whatever. This is just a test, right? So I'm going to name the policy and the description, and I'm going to click next. So it will take up to 1 day for labels to appear for users. Labels will appear in Outlook and Outlook web app, okay, desktop and the web app, only for mailboxes that have at least 10 MB of data. Okay, this is easy. So choose label to publish. We've chosen that. Publish to users and groups. Okay, the exchange is not here. We've discarded that. Policy name and description. Okay, I'm going to click on publish labels and it will be published. Okay, so what are the other options? Auto apply a label. You can auto apply a label, will automatically apply this label to content in the locations you choose. Users will see the label applied to their content that matches your specified condition. Note that you cannot auto apply labels that are classified as a record. Okay, so this is easy. Okay, I'm not gonna go deep inside this. You can choose a condition, settings, name the policy, locations. You can locate which one you want to choose for Exchange, SharePoint, or whatever it is, and you view your settings, and then you can hit close. Okay, and import, yes, of course you can import labels using these steps, and export, you can export the labels as well. Okay, and I don't have the Office products installed yet, so all right, so that is that. I'm gonna go to policies and choose labels to publish. Okay, say if I'm going to publish this label, probably these two labels. All right, and I'm going to click on next, choose specific location, click next here. Okay, so this is the way I publish it. Okay, so this policy is created. Okay, and then I publish it that way. So auto apply a label, so it's the same way, right? Same way how we do it there. Click on auto apply label and the same steps come up here. Okay, so I was wondering if there was an option to click on create a policy, but that happens as you go on publishing a label. Okay, so eventually your policy name would be this, right? This is the one. So description, modified, all these things, and you can edit the policy this way. You can switch off and switch on. Okay, that way you can switch off the policy and it will turn amber, and when it's on, it's going to be blue in color. So two inactive retention labels. I only see one. Okay, it's about the retention labels, right? Inactive labels and policies, and two inactive retention labels is this one, which is right over here. All right, so with that we are done with the file plan, and gonna click on events. All right, so there's a small uh, problem with events. Okay, kindly correct me if I'm wrong. I've tried it a couple of times, but something doesn't work. I was unable to create an event. Choose an event type. So I'm not able to choose an event type. Use existing labels. So although I club the uh, label with the event, I'm not able to do it. Okay, even if I create a tag, it's not going to allow me to do anything further. Okay, so I'm not sure why, but yep, so I'm trying to figure that out. Okay, so maybe since a lot of things are moving on to the Microsoft 365 Compliance Center. Probably some of them are getting deprecated, but I do not intend on giving a wrong information. But another day on another tenant it worked, but on multiple tenants now it doesn't work, or probably I'm getting it wrong. Okay, so this is the event type we have, and you can go ahead and create an event type probably. Okay, name your event type, and I'm gonna click close and go here, choose an event type. It doesn't get listed here, so that's the problem. That's what I'm trying to see. Okay, anyway, so what is an event? An event is a specific occurrence of a predefined event type. Okay, something like an employee leaving the organization or some birthday or whatever it is. Okay, event types are associated with labels that, when applied to content, classify the content as that specific type. If an actual event occurs, such as user leaves your organization, you'll create an event for that situation by specifying the event type, such as employment ended, etc., etc. Okay, so with that, record management gets over with file plan and events. And again, if you do think that I'm messing up somewhere on events, please do let me know. But however, I intend to open a Microsoft get help ticket. All right, so let's move on to the next one, and we go to the information governance. And on that information governance dashboard, we've got the toolbox. Okay, and got quick actions to create a policy, a label, or publish labels. You can classify your data and see how labels were applied, and records, extra, etc., etc. Okay, and you've got the retention cover, like 100% users are currently covered by retention policy. Your content at a glance gives you a graph, and gives you a content overview. Right, and it says information governance and records management are now available as solutions in the Microsoft 365 Compliance Center. And it also says you can bring in your data to 365 if you have the storage outside of the cloud. Okay, and you can import it this way. And the import option, similar to the AZ copy, you've got an option to move the PST files. Okay, and you can learn about how to import the PST file. You've got a bunch of steps. Okay, you've got network upload, PST import workflow, drive shipping. So if it's a network upload, you need to download the PST import tool and key to private Azure storage location, and you need to upload upload or copy the PST files, and that would go to the fifth step directly. All right, upload PST files to Azure storage location, filter the PST data that will be imported, and then you need to start the job. So that's going to be simple. And if it's a PST import workflow, you need to go to the third step, which is create a PST import mapping file. So I guess you would have seen the mapping file. If not, it's a CSV file with a bunch of information that you need to fill in, and you need to start the PST job that way. And if it's a drive shipping, you need to copy the PST files to a hard drive, ship the hard drive to Microsoft Data Center, and Microsoft uploads PST files on hard drive to Azure storage location, and it'll give you the hard drive back. And after it uploads the PST to the storage location, you need to filter the PST data and you need to start the PST import. So pretty much you're skipping the step 2, 3, 4, and if you're going for the drive shipping. And this is going to be a different ball game. so let's not jump in too much in depth in that. And that's import pst files and archive third-party data. You can archive the data from Android, etc. Okay, uh, so you need to add a connector, and I haven't done that, but I ventured a lot in this. Okay, I went through this, and this simply gives you a third-party data which you can connect to Office 365 via connector. Okay, so not gonna go in depth. All right, so if you did not find a connector, it's gonna ask you for a form to fill in that would help improve the Microsoft 365 compliance. And these are the list of third-party data and what is supported and what is not. All right, and let me get rid of this. And all right, so it says, okay, they keep saying that it's going to go to the 365 compliance center. So archive, so that's going to be an archive mailbox. You need to enable it. I've enabled the archive mailbox. So archive mailboxes provide additional storage, as you all know, and using Outlook or Outlook web app, you can view the messages or copy the messages between the primary and the secondary archive mailboxes. All right, so I've enabled it, and it's showing the MB used and how much warning quota it is, and the usage statistics, etc, etc. You can copy messages to and fro, and you can filter it with the recipient types. Okay, and with the last name, and then you can copy these to the mailbox. I don't have anything, so it's gonna be empty. The last one is the retention, and this is about the emails, documents, Skypes, Teams conversation. So all these data you will have to label and figure out how you're going to retain, whether you want it or whether you don't want it. Okay, so the policy which we created in the records management under events, if I'm not wrong, or probably file plan, so that's going to come up here. These policies are going to be here. Okay, these are interconnected. These are going to be the same policies, right? So labels, it helps you create a label so that users can classify data, and you can create label policies to publish it, publish whatever labels are created for the users. So you can create a policy by clicking on create, give it a name, and description. You can set it, it's going to be the same thing. Okay, no, just delete it. Let me put it simple, and I'm not going to go advanced settings, and I'm going to choose which location I would like to set this policy in. Review the settings, and I'm going to complete this. Okay, and these are some of the policies which are listed here. All right, so if you want to know more about what's retention, you can always click on the learn. So I would always encourage you to go step by step. Okay, this is just an eye opener as to what exists under the entire information governance. Okay, I would love to go in depth. Certain things I've tried, certain things I haven't, and I would encourage you strongly to go step by step, and this is going to be very helpful. All right, so supervision has expired on February 2020, so we don't have much to do with this over here. That's about it. On the next video I would go over the threat management and various policies in it, submissions, and everything which lies under threat management, and then we'll go with the next few features in compliance. Thank you so much, and if there is anything that I can improve or probably go over again, kindly let me know on the comment section and I'll be happy to do that. Thank you, and you have a wonderful day. Bye.